Hello everyone. So I'm back with another tutorial on React.js after a really long time. So last month I was like on vacation, and in this month I'm planning to create some new videos on my channel. The agenda for today is to learn about charting libraries in React.js and use one of the charting libraries to create a line chart. But we are going to use the charting library for a problem which is quite famous in mathematical community, which is popularly called as 3x plus 1 problem or Collat's conjecture. Now, I first came across this problem while watching a video on Veritasium. I will share a link somewhere at the top, which you can view and actually understand what this problem is about. Now, on pretty basic terms, the problem goes by like this. So let's just say we start with any positive integer n, for example, from 1 to 10, if we take a number like 5. So if the term is, let's say, odd, in that case, we get the next term in the series by multiplying the odd number by 3 and then adding 1 to it so that we get a even number. Because let's just say if you are considering 5 as the odd number, if you multiply it by 3, it will be 15, and plus 1 would be uh, 16, which would be an even number. Now, if we get an even number, like for example 16, then the next term in the series is calculated by taking half of the current term. For example, if the number is 16 in our case, then the next term in the series would be calculated by taking the half of that value, which is equal to 8. So the first three numbers in the series of 5 would be 5, 16, 8, and so on and so forth. Now the theorem states that, or the conjecture is that, if you go on continuing this series for a long time, eventually you will always end up at a number 1, and after that there won't be any other terms addition or calculation possible. Now let me just explain this with an example. So let's just say we start off with the number 5, and since 5 is odd, we multiply 5 with 3 and add 1, and the next number that we get in the series is 5 to the 15 plus 1, 16. Now, since 16 is even, we divide 16 by 2, and the next number in the series is 8. Now, since 8 is even, the 8 digit is divided again by 2, and the next number in the series that we get is 4. Now, if we divide even 4 by 2, since it is even, we get 2. And since 2 is even, if we divide 2 by again 2, we get 1. Now, once we get 1, which is odd in the series, and if I multiply 1 by 3 and add 1, then 3 into 1 is 3, plus 1 would be 4. Now we come back to the value 4, and the series keeps on like going into a loop at this stage. That is why each of the numbers in this series eventually ends at 1. Now if you calculate this for any numbers, like from starting from 0 to like infinity or billion number, even in that case, as per mathematical calculations, the series always ends up at the value 1. That is why this is called as 3x plus 1 problem. Now this series is surprisingly easy to understand. Like in the case of 5, the number series would be 5, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. Similarly, we might get some series of other numbers as well, but it is really hard to prove. For example, if you search for Collat's conjecture on YouTube, or if you actually go and view the video on Veritasium, you will actually understand that it is really hard to prove this theorem, but it is surprisingly easy to understand. And even there is a statement by Paul Adros which goes by, mathematics is not yet ready for this, for such problems, and there is a solution for this problem which is around $500. But like even if you try it for a long time, like many of the mathematicians have spent their entire lifetimes to solve this problem and try to prove this conjecture, but they haven't been able to do so. Now, as I mentioned, now there is a graph in this series. So let's just say if you start with some numbers like any number like 15 or some other stuff, eventually the number series always ends up at the value 1, and that's the entire like beauty of this series. So coming to our case in which we are trying to solve this problem. So what we are going to do today is we are going to create a graph of the first 10 numbers in the series. If you observe this graph carefully of 5, you will see that after 5 the next value 16 is at the top, then the graph or this line goes on decreasing, right? If I try to map this value on a bar chart or a line chart, we'll see that in case of 5, I think this is the Collat's conjecture of 5. It starts from 5, then 16, then 4, 2, and then eventually 1. So this is the line of the number 5. Similarly, if you try to like visualize the numbers from 1 to 10, this is how it looks like. Eventually all the numbers end up at the value 1, but the numbers in the middle goes on increasing and decreasing. That is why we have this line charts like this. So we are going to try and do this using React.js and mainly a charting library, which is called as Recharts. So that's the overall agenda of the day. Now coming to the creation part, I'm going to use White.js for setting up my React projects. So you can get the official documentation on White.js docs. So the first thing that I do is I copy the command, which is yarn create white. You need to have Node.js installed onto your system for React.js projects. Now I'm just opening a new terminal on Visual Studio Code and running the command yarn create white. Now I'm not sure what's the pronunciation of White.js is, but I just call it white a lot of times. So let's just name the project as line charts of bullets. Then I'm going to select React for now. I'm not much I am still learning TypeScript, so I'm just continuing with the basic React.js code for now. Then I'm just going to cd into line charts project. Then run yarn command to install all the node modules. So basically in the package.json, there are some modules like React and React DOM, which needs to be installed for a React project. Then we'll run yarn dev and start our project. Now, if we come back to localhost colon 3000, we'll have the default White.js page. Now let's start off with the actual code. The first thing which we need to do obviously is to create a code which is supposed to generate the series of numbers for a particular input. For example, in case of 5, we need to generate 5, 16, 8, 4, 2 and 1, right? So for that, what I'm going to do is, even before I create the UI for the website, I'm just going to create a utils folder in my White.js app. And in that utils, I'm going to create a new file called series generator, which will return me the series for a particular number. So we are going to create a function called series generator. And this is going to take an input integer, for example, 5 or 10 or any integer that we want. And it is going to return an array of numbers containing the entire series. So since we are dealing with series, we will have to declare a number series or collab series if you want. Let us go with number series is equal to an array, and we are going to push the values. Now the first value that we obviously need is the number itself, because if you observe the graph here, the value starts at the basic integer. So we will take the first value of the number as the input integer itself. For example, 5, then 15, and another stuff. Sorry, 16 and other stuff. Then we know that all the numbers in the series eventually end at 1, right? So what we will do is we will run a while loop where the current number is not equal to 1. We'll run the loop. And what is current number? Current number is the number which is supposed to be like the current term, if we are being more precise. So current term in the series. Initially, the current term would have the value as the input integer. For example, 5 would be the value, and on the basis of that, we'll calculate the next value. Now we need to check if the number is odd or even. Now, in case of JavaScript or in any programming languages, a number is checked if it is odd or even by checking the remainder of the number after division by 2. And for that, we use an operator which is called as modulo operator, modulus operator in JavaScript. And basically it is a percentage sign. So modulus operator basically. Now modulus operator will actually return the remainder when we divide a particular number. For example, in this case, if we divide 5 by 2, we get the remainder 1, right? Now if the remainder of a particular division of a number by 2 is 1, then we know that the number is odd. And if the number is even, for example 4, and if 4 is divided by 2, so the remainder will be 0. In that case, we know that the number is even. So in our case, what we will do is we will check if the division of the current term, so using the modulus operator, if it is equal to 1, then we know that the number is odd. So the current term will be equal to current term divided multiplied by 3, because if we are doing 3x plus 1, so 3 star the current term plus 1 we'll push the current term into the number series. So we'll run number series dot push the current term. So in this case, if we take the input integer as 5, since the number is odd, the next number in the series will be 16, and the number series will contain the values 5, 16. And let's just say the next number in the series, for example, once we are done with calculation of 16, now we know that the current term value is 16. Now if we try to multiply 16 by 2, obviously we'll get 0. So if you want, you can also write a operation here, which is current term mod 2 is equal to 0, then the number is even. But we obviously know that if the remainder is not equal to 1, then the number is even itself. So what we will do is, in this case, we know that the number is even. So in that case, we divide the term by 2. In case of JavaScript, the division sign is backslash or this slash value, and we divide it by 2. Then we push the number in the number series as well. Okay. And then what we will do is we will eventually run up to the value 1, and at that instance we will stop the calculation, and then we will return the number series. So that's the like basic pseudocode for generating the number series. So let's just return out the number series and check if this works in our original app.js. When is app.js, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this function. If I want to call this function, I will have to export it from this file. So we'll go with export default the function series, which is series generator. So whenever we want to use a function from one file to another, we export that function using export default, and then we import it in our original file. So we'll go with import series generator from util series generator, and let's just see what the value comes for the value 5. So in case of JavaScript, we use console.log for logging the values. So let's just say the collats series or x plus 1 series for 5. So we will use this series generator function and we'll pass the value as 5. Let's hit save and check the output in our own project. So we'll right click and inspect the values. Now let's go to the console section, and as you can see, we have array of 6 values, and these are the same values which we had in our example, which is 5, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. So if you observe the values here, which was 5, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, we have those same values in our code as well. Now if you want, you can even like print out these values in your page. So you can write something like a simple p tag and let's series for 5 is equal to, in case of React, we use curly brackets whenever we are calling a function in the return statement. And I think I will have to go with toString to print this out as a string, and let's just see what we get. So this is what the collat series for 5, 5, 6, 8, 4, 2, 1. Similarly, if we change the number, for example, if we have a const, we'll declare a variable here, const number is equal to 10, and if you pass this number values here, then in this statement and even in this function, we'll get the values for 10, which is 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then the series for 5 continues. So this is how collat series works. Eventually every number goes to the value 1. If you go for a really large value like 1000, even in that case the numbers are like 1000 and 500. We are going into the half till 125, which is odd. Then we go with 125 into 3 plus 1, so which comes out to 376. And eventually if you go towards the end of this series, even in that case it will end at the value 1. So for any value that you can think of, this series always ends at the value 1. This is surprisingly easy to understand, but I don't know, nobody has been able to provide a theorem for this series. Now going into our own use case, so what we are going to do is we are going to plot a line chart, right? So for line charts, we are going to use recharts just as I had mentioned previously. And for recharts, so we are going to use the line chart like this, but the curve won't be smooth, it will be pointed. So let's just start with the installation part. We need to install it using either npm install or yarn add. I'm using yarn package manager, that is why I'm using yarn add recharts. Now this will install the recharts library. Once that is done, we can go to yarn dev and we can start the server again. And now, okay, let's just remove this log. We don't need it anymore. And let's focus on creating a line chart out of the current number series. Okay. So for this, we'll create a function which is function to render line chart. And now what I'm going to do is I'm first going to create a line chart for a single number, for example, 7 or 5, and then continue on to build the line chart for the first 10 or 100 numbers, depending on us. So first we will calculate the number series for a particular number. So we'll call the series generator function and let's just pass a single input, which is 5. Then once we have the number series returned, then we will start building our line chart. Now in case of recharts, we will have to follow the official docs. And let's just go to the getting started section. So this is how line chart is plotted, and you can actually add the various components here. And you need to we need to import some components from recharts and use it. So in this case, what I will do is instead of writing the entire code in the app.js, like we'll create a component for our line chart, so that in future, if I want to add some other graph or some other uh, visualization, in that case, I will be able to add it easily using the components folder. That, like, I usually don't prefer adding the component code in app.js. So let's have a component which is line chart component, and let's just, in case of components, typically we go with capital or this capital case syntax. We can use RFC for creating a functional component for line chart. Let's take this function outside into our line chart.js file, and let's continue working on here. So we can go with some h1 tags just so that we know that we are working on the line charts. So we go with line charts for let's something like this. So basically, the 3x plus 1 series was popularized or briefly stated by Collatz. That is why we have the name as Collatz conjecture. So I think the name is somewhere, yeah, Lothar Collatz. So he was the one who actually worked on this series or introduced this series in 1937. That is why it is called as Collatz conjecture. Now let's just import this line chart component in our code so that we are able to visualize and see what is happening. So we'll go with line chart from components / line chart. Okay, I think we messed something up. Okay, what's the issue basically here? I don't know. So we have the h1 tag added perfectly. Then we have exported the value, and let's just add the value instead of the component and see what the, I don't think there is an issue. So the issue is on line number. So in this case, in case of Vite.js, every import needs to have a JS extension, without which the code does not work. Now it is working fine. So let's come back to line chart.js and let's start building into our line chart. And in case of rechart, the first thing that we need to import is line chart component, by which we can create the line chart. So let's import from recharts step by step. The first component that we are going to import is line chart itself. Okay, another error. Let's just check what the error is. Okay, so in this case, I will have to go with line chart component because it is like conflicting with the line chart import here. Now let's just return the line chart component in our code. So return the line chart component with some width and margin. The data we don't have right now, so we will create the data in some time. So we have the width, height, and other stuff. Now we need to work on the data part, right? Now the data is somewhat like this. You have the name, which is printed out on the x-axis, and you have the value which is visualized on the y-axis. Now in our case, the x-axis values will be the indexes of this series. So number series indexes values. So let's create a data array in which we will store all our data. Now we'll use a map function. Map is basically for iterating over an array value. So we'll have the item value and we'll have the index, right? And we'll push some values into our data. Now the format is the name on the x-axis and the value for the y-axis. So in our case, we will push the name. In this case, the name will be page A, page B. So for us, the chart values will be 0, 5 or other stuff. Okay, so the index values basically. So the name value will be the index value. Okay, we need to return the JSON. The name value will currently be the index value, and the actual value on the y-axis will be the item in the series. I think this should work. So we'll go with data. That data is equal to, and data is equal to the number series dot map. Now we have the data present in our component, so we can then import the lines component which is supposed to draw the line. Currently, let's just see how it looks like. It does not look like it. We don't have anything here. Let me just call the function in our code so that we know that something is been rendered. Series generator is not imported in this component, so let's import it just like we had imported in our app.js. So we are just shifting the series generator function from app.js to line chart component. In this case, it will be double dot. Now we don't have the line chart visualized here because we are not creating a line. So let's add a line to our code using the same line type and other stuff. I'm just going to copy the code from the usual key, and the data key for us is the value instead of UV. So now let's import the line component from recharts. And we have this line. Now there is no X or Y axis. So let's add the X and Y axis as well. So we'll go with X axis and Y axis. In our case, the data key for X axis is the name. Yes. So this should work. And we need to import the X axis and Y axis from rechart as well. So we have this line, but it is like really smooth. I don't want smooth value. I want like proper curved value. So let's just check if we have some values in the customization. So we are working with the line chart. I think it will be an API. So let's just go to the line section and check. I think the linear one should be the one which will make it like not curved. So let's just try that. So in this type, we will set the type as linear. This is how I wanted it to be. Now let's just center out the chart because it is at the left hand section of the page. So for that, we can use the flex property. So we'll add a class name here. Class name is equal to line chart container. You can create a CSS file in this line chart.jsx. So let's create a new file called as line chart, sorry, not jsx.css, and let's continue on with the code. Now in this line chart.css, we will add this line chart container file or class, and use display flex property with justify content as centered. Just set the width to 100%. Then import the line chart.css in our JSX file using import /line chart.css. So now the line chart is centered. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to run a for loop and create the line charts for the first 10 numbers. So for that, okay, let's just add the other things as well in our line chart. So in this case, I want this labels as well. So we'll go with the tooltip and the legend component added into our line chart. Let's import the tooltip and legend as well. And we have the value and the other stuff. So instead of value, we can set this as Collatz conjecture or series. For the current value. So let's just have a value as const number is equal to, and the number value in our case it is 5, and we'll use that same value in this case. So instead of now going for a string, we'll go with a variable. So for variables in JSON, we use the array notation, and within that string literal. So I think the better way to do this would be to create a variable outside. So we can go with const label name is equal to, then the literal value, which is Collatz series for the number. In our case, the number is 5 for now. And use this label name value here. Similarly, in the data key, no, the value for the data key, which is here. So in the data key value, we need to go for the label name. Yes. So we have Collatz series for 5 and the value is printed out as well. This works. Now comes the most difficult part, and initially when I was like creating this in Code Sandbox, it took me almost an hour to figure out, which was to create this for the first 10 numbers. So for creating the first 10 numbers, we obviously have to go with a for loop. And for loop, now the thing is for Collatz conjecture, the conjecture starts from 1 until 10. So we can go with let I is equal to 1. I should run till 10 and go with I plus plus. Now the number value in our case, or in this case, would be equal to I value. Number series code remains same. And now comes the most difficult part, which is the data creation part. Now if you search for like Richard's multiple lines, there is a way in which the Richard requires the syntax to be. So Richard with multiple lines, and in that case, this is how it works. So you create an array for each of those lines. For example, let's just say you have line 1 and line 2. So for each of those values, you create an array like this, and you use that value for as the data for each of those line components. For example, if you are creating the data for just the 2 lines, then the data for first line will be in the first array, and the data for the second line will be in the second array. And even in this case, the name values remain same. The values for on the y-axis change. So the x-axis values are same, the y-axis values change a bit. So in our case, what we are going to do is we are going to create another array which is called as line renderer. And this line renderer will actually contain this collection of lines, like line for the collection 5, then second line for 6, and so on and so forth. So again, this would be an array. Now, okay, let's just take the data and the line renderer outside, or we can take the line renderer outside at least, because line renderer needs to be pushed and it does not need to be added for every time. Now this line data which we are talking about, this will be for a particular number series for a particular instance. So in our case, now let's just say we are working with the value 5. Now for creating the value for 5, obviously we need the label name. So we can take this same label name. Now the data part for the particular line would remain almost same, I think. So we go with the same data part. We are just trying to figure things out. So this will be line data for the particular line, for example, 1, 2, or 5, whatever. Now the number series that is generated, we are going to map it, and we have the value, in which case we have the name, which is the index value, and we have the label name, which is the item. Okay, we might need some changes here. Then once we are done with creating the line data, instead of using the line data directly, we'll push the line data into the line renderer array. So we'll go with line renderer dot push, and we'll use the same line here. And in this case, we are basically creating collection of lines instead of a single line. So we have the data key as label name, and we have the stroke. Now let's take this line renderer and see if this works. If it doesn't work, we'll have to like improvise. So let's just see if this works. So we come back to the White.js app and we have an error. Let's just see what the error is. Data is not defined. Okay. And it is at line number 27. So the data that we need to have, okay, in this case, I don't think the line charts need the data. So we can remove the data value from here. And the data in this case will be passed on to the individual line instead of the parent level data. So this will contain my line data, and let's just see if this works. So now we have the values properly printed out, but they are in the same color, right? And we need them to be of different colors first of all. So what we'll do is we will obviously use a random color generator, and we also need to we need to make sure that the line chart is created properly and not this small on the x-axis. So let's start off with customizing the line chart. I think there is one error here for keys. So in this case, the line charts requires some key. So in our case, we can push the label name as the unique key because it is unique for every line. Now there is an npm which is called as a random color, by which we can customize the colors, or we can generate random colors basically for different lines. So this is the npm. If you want, you can install the npm. What I did was I just took the code from the randomcolor.js file. Like this is the entire code, and I use that code in my utils function. So I'm just going to copy this code, come back to my file, and in the utils, I will going to create a new file which is color generator. Yes, I will add the entire code. I think the function for random color is exported. Yes. Next, I will import this random color function in my code. So let's just import random color from utils random color, and every time the color for the line, which is the stroke value, will be a random color. And documentation is like this. You use the function by creating or calling the random color value. So in this case, my stroke value will change, and Okay, the name is color generator. So let's just name it as color generator. Now we have different colors for each of the line. The next thing that I want to do is I want to like end this value as one instead or start the y-axis values from one instead of zero, because if you observe the graph, it starts from the value one on y-axis and it ends at the value one each time. So we come back to the lines customization in Recharge.js. Let me just close all the other tabs because it will unnecessarily consume a lot of processing power. So we come back to the lines property and we check the values. So in this case, okay, let's just search for recharge start y-axis from a particular value. So basically, we can set the range in y-axis, and that is what I want to do. For y-axis, the domain value would be set. Now I think the domain value is the data max value. Now data max is the maximum number in your series. So that is how it will actually stop at 5 or the last index for a particular series. So what we will do is in this y-axis value, we'll set this domain. So domain contains the starting and the ending values. The starting value needs to be from 1 because we are starting the series from 1 and not 0. And the end value will be data max values. So we have these values and I don't know why the end value is not set properly as of yet. Okay, in case of x-axis, I think I will have to set the domain as well. So on x-axis, the domain will be again from 1 to data max. Okay, I don't remember the values. Let me just check what I had added in this chart that we created. Yeah, it is 0 and data max. We also have to set this type to number. Okay, and the data max value. So for x-axis, the domain and the type value needs to be set. And for y-axis as well, we'll have to set the type and the domain. I think by this, the chart will be looking better. Hopefully, yeah, this looks better. Now the colors that you see are not like they are good, but they don't look really well. So in that case, there is an option in the random color, which is luminosity and format, by which the colors look a little bit better. I'm just going to pass those values in this random color option. And now it refresh. I think that does the thing for us. So we have the collapse conjecture. If you want, you can increase the width and height. So let's just increase the width to around 900 and height to around 500. And this looks better. So this is how you create the conjecture for, let's say, first 10 numbers. If you want, you can now increase the size as well. So what I did was I set the starting index as a variable value. Let's just say the index starts from 1, and we can also set the ending index, which is in our case 10. Then we pass the starting index to I and the ending index. Now if we scale this to around 100, we will have the values for 100, but it is not easy to look at the values. So let me just remove the I think the legend part. And now we have the graph for the first 1000 numbers, and this is how it looks like. Pretty crazy, but yeah, this is how it looks like. Now if you want, for example, let's just say we want from 90 to 100. So the values from 90 to 100. So this is how it looks like. and these are the starting to ending values for 90 to 100. So you can play around whichever way you want. In that case, obviously the domain will be changed to the domain value because we are starting from the 90 and then ending towards the end values. So basically this is what I wanted to cover in this part of the session, which was to create the collage generator for the first 10 or 15 values or 10 or 12 values. Let me just uncomment the legend as well. And we are done. I hope you found this video useful. If you want, you can also look at the code on this code sandbox. I will share the link in the description. Let me know your feedback in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for more such interesting videos in future. So I am currently working on like visualizing this using binary tree. Like there is a React binary tree npm by which we can actually visualize the trees. So I'm just trying to see if we can visualize the collection gesture using a tree series as well. So if I am successful, I will create another video in the series, or else we will cover some other topic in the future videos. That's it from my end for today. Hope you found this video useful and learned something new from my end. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.